I'm Susie Farquharson and welcome to another edition of Braemar TV. Here's what's coming up later.
Gleneye has a reputation for having a good stock of deer on it. We've just passed a small herd.
There's very few facilities that I know of, in fact none that I know of that are anything like this.
We used old cooking oil, treacle, anything messy you could get hold of really.
First though, after the elections a few weeks ago, we have a new community council and a new chair. Dale's been speaking to Caroline.
Hello folks, well my name is Caroline Hadley-Smith. I've lived in this lovely village for over 25 years now, absolutely love it. I've been on the community council for the past couple of years and I am the newly elected chair for the next year. I'm quite excited about this new role. I feel that the village is very, very exciting at the moment. There's so much going on and the community council's role in some ways is trying to pull things together a little bit. We are trying to progress the community action plan which has been drawn up. And quite unbelievably there are around 42 different groups in the village working on things. The Community Council covers all sorts of things to do with the actual workings of the village, to do with the community and, funnily enough, the council. We deal with planning applications, we deal with things like parking, which is a bit of a hot issue in the village at the moment. We're trying currently to come up with some new recommendations for car parking in the village. There's people looking at all sorts of things from a group, Braemar Outdoor Group, which are looking at various paths around the village amongst other things, nature trail and so on. We've got the St Margaret's Trust developing art, the art side of things.
So if members of the local community wanted to raise an issue, can they do that through the Community Council?
Yes, absolutely. What the members of the public can do is they can get in touch with any of the community councillors and discuss matters with them, ask for them to be raised, issues to be raised at the meetings. They can also send us a letter if they send a letter to Joanne Morris, the secretary. You can't really ask questions at the meeting other than relating to the matters that we're discussing because we do have an agenda and otherwise we would just be there all night.
The idea came from an existing business in Braemar and like-minded people getting together and looking to supply a quality experience in the glens and the surrounding areas of Braemar with a responsible attitude, not to disturb the wildlife excessively, but also for people to experience the wildlife and see it close at hand. One of our aims is to educate people on responsible usage of the landscape and the environment. The tour guides that we have specialist subjects from history of the area to the wildlife of the area and also to the safety of the area as well.
I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of Braemar Highland Experience. We've got a fabulous team. There's 5 of us in total that will be working together to provide tours for the public, all with a really diverse background of interests. We have a retired shepherd, we have a ghillie, one of our members is one of the newest members of Braemar Mountain Rescue Team. I am particularly interested in running in the hills and the history of the hills, so we really have a lot of bases covered.
There is a diverse wildlife in the area: red deer, red grouse, black grouse, waders, various raptors, and particularly in this area it's not uncommon to see golden eagles. We want to attract everyone to let them experience this landscape, all age groups. But one of the ideas that we had originally was to allow people to see the landscape who were maybe not fit enough to get up these hills and get them there in a comfortable manner and a responsible manner.
I think we can give tourists a rare insight into the landscape that surrounds Braemar. While it is possible to walk in these glens by yourself, there are also obviously safety worries about doing that if you don't have the knowledge of the hills, but it takes a trained eye to see quite a lot of the wildlife around here. It's something that Steve Rennie, one of the owners of Braemar Highland Experiences, very trained at, and he will give a brilliant insight into the wildlife of the area.
Gleneye has a reputation for having a good stock of deer on it. We just passed a small herd, and at this time of the year they've cast their antlers, the bulk of them have cast their antlers. There's still some there that we can see in the horizon, it's still their antlers from last year, but there's already new growth showing, and some in velvet as well. Neil Bain operated a successful business in the village for approximately 11 years, Braemar Highland Safaris, and we were lucky to get his knowledge and experience on board for starting this new venture. Neil will still be part of the business, and he will be taking selected tours during the week. One of the specialities that we'll be offering is photography experiences, where if people have particular interests in landscape photography or wildlife photography, we will cater for them, and I will guide them on that tours. I started a photography business in Braemar approximately 2 years ago, and my passion is to record the landscape that we will be showing people on the tours. I've been lucky enough recently to photograph black grouse lekking. That was in the last couple of weeks. Eagles, red deer, squirrels are all not common but not uncommon in the area. One of the most common animals to see here is the red deer, and I particularly enjoy photographing them. This is a passion for me, to be able to live and work in this environment. It's certainly not about the financial gains from it, it's more about the way of life.
I'm in one of my favourite places in the whole world. We're at Ochary, which is up Gleneye. I have family that used to live in Ochary, which was a farm, and laterally was occupied by gamekeepers in the area. I always feel that I kind of belong back here. If only they could get electricity, I would retire here quite happily. It's a fabulous place.
I get great satisfaction from taking people out and letting them see things that they wouldn't normally see. I'm quite used to being able to spot things just from the amount of time I spend in the hill, and certainly I get great satisfaction from letting people see, for instance, black grouse, where it's, you normally see it in a book, and you're seeing it out here for real.
Hi, I'm Donald Cruikshank. I'm the GP here in Braemar. I've been here for 23 years. I'm a single-handed practitioner with a part-time associate GP, which enables me to have time off.
I would imagine you take a lot of responsibility for being on call in such a remote area.
Indeed, we still cover our out-of-hours service, which we've done historically, and after the 2004 contract change, we cover all the tourists who turn up in the area, whether bus trippers, hill walkers, cyclists, many of whom are prone to having accidents relating to their outdoor activities. General practice work, which might be done in accident emergency in the town, because we deal with general minor injuries because it's 60 miles to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. We also have no ambulance locally, so we have to wait a fair time, so the two of us have to be willing and able and happy to deal with acute medicine and acute emergencies. We're responsible for the Glenshee Chairlift, which is the major employer and major sport facility here throughout the winter months. Many thousands of people come up annually for their skiing in Scotland. From our point of view, we tend to get called fairly regularly by the staff at Glenshee if they have something beyond their ability as first aiders. And we're regularly involved with dealing with accidents, injuries, stitching people, dealing with people who've dislocated joints. So the job is quite diverse. You don't know what you're going to get when Glenshee phones.
I understand you do a significant amount of sort of out-of-hours call as well.
Yes, we do. We cover all our out-of-hours responsibilities, which means, as a practitioner, I'm working 24/7, 365. which is relieved by my colleague Dr. Glass.
Does the weather or terrain pose you any problems at all?
Indeed, we are in Scotland's highest village. We have also historically the coldest place in the United Kingdom, according to the Guinness Book of Records. Our snowfall annually is relatively high, which then has logistical issues in terms of getting to and from patients. Those patients particularly live outside the village. It is easier to obtain access to these patients in the winter if one drives a vehicle that can cope with the snow. Therefore, both myself and my colleague drive four-wheel drive vehicles which facilitate transportation round the practice area. In the winter, snow tyres can be advantageous.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm from Newtonmore. I'm walking the TGO Challenge, and Braemar is one of the most wonderful spots on the challenge with a great welcome and a great chance to meet other challengers.
I'm Sabine from Germany. I'm on the TGO Challenge too, and I like Braemar a lot because it's got a lot of facilities, very nice people. I just met them at the bothy. It was really great, and and you're watching
Braemar TV.
The first event we have is the showing of the film Mamma Mia, and this is the sing-along version. This is being organised by the Creative Arts Festival as a fundraiser. So if you'd like to come along and sing your heart out to Mamma Mia, that is on the 10th of June. We're absolutely delighted that the Plockton School is returning, and that's the music version of the school. It is the Centre for National Excellence in Traditional Music. They do an annual tour, and we have hosted them here once before. They're an absolutely excellent group, as you can imagine. The title speaks for itself, and they're coming along on the 12th of June. Part of that group is our own local fiddler, Ellie McLaren, and she will be part of the group that's coming along. So that's the 12th of June. Something slightly unusual and very different which has come upon us this year is a comedy night. I don't think, to my knowledge, we've ever had a comedy night in Braemar, but we've got a comedy night, so that's going to be quite different. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be certainly different, and I'm sure it'll be very enjoyable. That is on the 23rd of June.
My name is Naz Hussain, and I'm the founder of Breakneck Comedy. We're branching out to rural areas in Aberdeenshire. We've got a gig coming up in Braemar on the 23rd of June, and it's going to be amazing. We've got loads of comedians coming from all over the Britain coming to perform to the people of Braemar. One of the reasons I really enjoy actually doing comedy nights in these areas, I just really like the idea of people locally from a certain area coming together, forgetting everything, and just having a good laugh and having a good time. People can actually buy tickets from our website at breakneckcomedy.co.uk. So if anybody wants to come along, support the cause, it'd be great.
Moving on to July, on the 8th of July, we've got a family ceilidh in the hall. This is in association with the Braemar Junior Highland Games, which takes place that weekend. So on the Saturday evening in the hall, we've got a family ceilidh, and it is a family ceilidh, a ceilidh for all the family, from the Wains up to the rather older members of the population. You're more than welcome to come along. It's always a good night, it's lively, and it doesn't go on too late, because particularly kids, if they've been tossing cables and throwing weights and everything else in the park during the day, they're probably a wee bit wabbit by the time it gets to 10, 11 o'clock. On the 25th of July, we are welcoming back the Cairngorms Ceilidh Trail. This is an annual visit, same time every year, and it's a group of young musicians who are auditioned annually to join this group of 8 players. It's always a good night. They are, again, players of excellence, and the object of the exercise is to give them experience of playing in public, of playing in concert, and as part of this they go through the whole routine of how to stage a show, how to put it together, and of course how to play well. I suppose it's quite important, and they do that as well. And I'm delighted to say that Ellie McLaren is returning, having done her stint with the Plockton group. She's coming back with the Cairngorms Ceilidh Trail. Something again a little different and new to us this year. We are welcoming a chap called Donald Black. Not a name that was known to me, I must admit, but he was here last year at the Creative Arts Festival, and he's a Muthi player, probably more politely known as a harmonica player, and he's coming along with his three-piece band to do an evening's entertainment in the hall. So that's a Muthi evening on the 21st of July. Then we come to our annual show during July and August. Every Wednesday evening at 8:30 we have a Highland dancing display in the village hall. The good news is it's always free to get into. This is a display of dancers from the Highland Society's dancing class, which runs all year in the village, and in amongst that we also have some of our local young pipers who will come along and do a couple of spots as well. Always a good evening. As I say, it's free to get in. Getting out is something you've got to work out a bit later, but do come along. These are local kids at all levels of dancing, and they do put a tremendous amount of energy into it, and that's every Wednesday evening during July and August. There may be other events throughout the summer. These tend to come in a bit later. Just keep your eye on all the various outlets, including, of course, Braemar TV.
Alright, so I come with songs. And I figured if you guys were like everybody else, you'd like a happy song, but that's not what I do, so that's why we put locals on the bill to keep the mood high, so that we can elevate it in between. I do songs that are kind of a challenge on the audience's hearts. So here we go. Sad songs make me feel good, and if you don't see the world that way, this is going to be a long 4 songs for you. But the channel will change soon, so...
One of the first things I remember was coming with my brothers, going down to the village, just about the time we moved to Chapelbrae, and Sandy Peggy's dog got out at Big Alsatian, which was normally never outside the gate, but it was this day. And my 2 brothers grabbed me and ran like hell. And I suppose the dog would never have touched us, but they weren't willing to take a chance. That's my grandparents' golden wedding. No, cricket, don't ask me the year. But looking at the photograph, I would say I would have been maybe about 10 or 11 years old at the most. So almost 50 years ago. 8 on my grandfather's side, and I think there were 8 on my grandmother's side, I believe. Miss Hepburn, of course, taught all 7 primary classes in the one room at the same time, and it was obviously not easy to keep control a lot of the time, so the belt was used quite regularly, and we thought at one point this is getting a bit too much. So 3 of us went over on the boat to Allen Moor and caught an adder and killed it, which we brought back with us. And my mother was the school cleaner, so we could get into the school at night when she was in cleaning. We slipped in, opened the drawer and laid this dead adder along the top of the belt. And of course when we went in the morning, we started to create havoc. So of course out it came, there was one almighty scream and Miss Hepburn disappeared. But of course we should have known better, because just shortly after that Lord Canon Kerr appeared in the school, and he wasn't one to mess with. So there was hell to pay that day. When I came back to Braemar, it was just about the same time as Glenshee Ski Centre started up. I think that was 1967. And that was beginning to take off, and of course they were using a lot of part-time staff and like that, and it meant a lot of work for us. So when I came back, I started my apprenticeship in the garage and carried on for there, and there was a lot of work up there, cars being left more or less sitting in a blizzard and wouldn't start, and things like that. And it wasn't long until it developed up there, probably a better stocked bar than any of the pubs. That was when Robin ran the ski school, and a lot of people found that they were drinking whisky and coke, which was very much frowned upon. Never be thought, how could you possibly drink that? But it was the only soft drink you could get up there at that time. So that was where that originated from, in this area anyway. I had an uncle that worked in the still, and he used to bring home some from time to time. We didn't see a lot of it, but we did occasionally get one. And but one of the worst experiences I had of it was when VAT came in, and Egg Bernard and myself went down to the distillery to meet Harry Wright, who was the exciseman, and he would show us how to fill in books for VAT and that sort of thing. And while we were sitting there, he was always pouring a dram, and it was basically a very light pink colour, and it was like drinking lemonade. So, nothing to this stuff. So when we eventually finished and were going to head for home, I said to him, well, I thought we might have gotten something a bit better to drink than what you've given us. He says, just wait till you get outside. And how we got home, I'll never know. And I said, it did, it just hit you like nothing else on earth when you went out into the fresh air. And you would lie in wait for something. You'd arrange 2 parties, one to get the girl, one to get the boy. And once you grabbed them, it was a fair mess made, and then you headed for the pub. And a very enjoyable night usually. We used old cooking oil, treacle, just anything messy you could get hold of really at the time, and something that would wash off reasonably easily. A lot of people advocated the use of boot polish, but I didn't agree with that, because that could be quite a painful thing to get rid of. I think one of the best stories was after Scottish Brewers had taken on the Fife. And it was Mark Murray that was the manager. And well, there one Saturday night, crowd of us drinking, and there was 2 or 3 musicians. And we were going to be having a late night, just lock the doors in. But there was a crowd of students from Aberdeen. So Mark said, right, well, if we get rid of this lot first. So it came 10 o'clock closing time, still at that time, of course. So he said, right, boys, you've got 10 minutes drinking up time, and then, oh, we've got all this drink. And he said, well, you better start drinking it. Because if you're not finished it by 10:10, it goes down the sink. Oh, you'll manage to make us? So with that, Mark disappeared. And he came back through, just dead on 10:10, with a shotgun. He laid the shotgun down the bar. Now he says, I'm giving you an extra 5 minutes. And so if you're not out by then, oh, ha ha. So the 5 minutes was up. He said, right, boys, out. And we were not going. He just picked up the gun and bang. And just as he did so, Veronica Fane came through from the hotel to get the towel. Well, she collapsed in a dead faint. The boys jumped because all there was just the cardboard wadding. There was no pellets in the thing at all. But by God, they didn't half jump and leave. When we were still up at the schoolhouse, when the Roses left to move to Stonehaven, Davy had built the girls a wooden carty, which they couldn't take the other two near the main road, so they gave it to us. And Brother Tom and I were playing this thing up and down Charlesbury. And John McGregor came up to join in, as he often did. And a lot of us male cousins played together. But those two, they were on the carty at the time, wouldn't have given me a shot. So I went into the house to complain. And first, you tell them, if they don't give you a shot, I'll put the axe through the middle of it. I thought, now that's a good idea. So I didn't wait for Father, I just went and got the axe and said, right, I'm wanting a shot, you're not getting one, so I just swung the axe. They were still sitting on the thing, but they weren't by the time the axe landed, and I just split the thing through the middle. Because if I'm not getting a shot, neither are you. There is one other story, I don't know if you remember, when Peter Benton stayed across the road. You remember his parrot? Well, I used to be fascinated with that thing because it could speak. It was quite amazing. And it wasn't until, what would it be? About 25, 30 years ago. I was up in Peter Fraser's house at Little Halliday. And I was sitting speaking to Peter and I could hear this voice. And there was something familiar about that. So I said to Peter, I says, who's through the house? Oh, he said, it's a damn parrot. And I said, where did you get it from? Oh, he says, I got it from my father when he died. And I took it. But he said, he got it for a boy in Braemar. He says, Peter Benton. And apparently these parrots all live for over 40 years. And this was the same parrot. Mm-hmm. It was all fairly strict, I suppose, at that time. But yeah, basically the families all got on reasonably well, I think. Never really remember any big falling outs. I mean, with our family, we had to go, everybody gathered every Sunday afternoon at my grandparents'. That was basically an unwritten law, yeah. And And that was where they tried to put us off whisky. Just kids, we used to complain that they were all getting a drink and we weren't. So my grandmother bench came back with glasses of stuff the right colour and all the rest of it. As kids I started drinking. God, that's horrible. Only I discovered it was malt vinegar in it that she gave us.
Hello, I'm Maggie Mackay and I'm the manager here at Crathy Opportunity Holidays.
In 1997, we had a look at these old buildings, which were derelict stables, and had a vision, I suppose, of being able to put them to better use.
Definitely, yep.
So that was the start of 5 years of getting people together in the community to think about it, to raise money, and to come up with this wonderful idea of providing holiday accommodation which was of the best standard possible and was equipped for people with varying disabilities. They call it barrier-free now, and this is certainly barrier-free.
I would go as far as say it's probably unique in the UK. You know, there's very few facilities that I know of, in fact none that I know of that are anything like this.
Oh, I'm Uschi Janssen, and I was 7 years here in Crathy Opportunity Holidays. I was one of the directors.
It's literally yards from the River Dee, and it looks over the beautiful Balmoral estate and up to Loch Nagar. And I think it was partly that encouraged us to think that more people should have the benefit of this lovely area. And very often people with disabilities just can't find anywhere to stay, not a hotel, a guest house, and certainly not a self-catering holiday cottage.
No, that's right, and the number of times we've had guests coming and saying that they were sceptical, and yet when they came, everything we said it was, you know, was a reality and was true.
I'm Vi Gray from Aberdeen and my husband David. And we're here because we were finding it difficult to get somewhere to go for a break since my husband had to go into a wheelchair. We found this online, and this is the third time in about 18 months we've been here since we found out about it. It's fantastic. It's got every single thing we need for a disabled person, and it's very comfortable for me, you know, as well. Very peaceful, very peaceful, and the people are phenomenal. I mean, everybody you speak to are just so nice and very, very helpful. So that's why we're here today.
The staff we have are absolutely the best. I couldn't speak highly enough about Maggie, Lorraine and Beth, because the welcome they give to guests is so important. The support they give them when they come, if they need any kind of assistance at all, they ensure that their individual needs are met.
Remember, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have any ideas what you'd like included in the programme, or pictures or videos to send in, get in touch at the address below. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.